I'm Chris Young, head football coach at Greenwood High School. Uh, Today, I'm going to cover a weekly in-season practice schedule here at Greenwood. I'm going to start off with our Saturday and Sunday work days for coaches when we bring our players in on Sunday afternoon, and then go through the daily practice schedule Monday through Friday leading up to a game on Friday night. Appreciate the opportunity to visit with you, and please feel free to contact me if I can help in any other way. Like most staffs on Friday night, we have some coaches that stay up after the game and begin their stats. We ask our junior high staff to upload all of our video and put our data into Huddle. They work Friday night, and we just ask that they have this completed by 7 a.m. on Saturday so the varsity coaches can get started making their own cuts. Coaches come in early on their own, depending on how much work they did Friday night, but Saturday at 7 o'clock, the offensive staff will meet with myself and watch the game film from the game. The defensive staff will work to finish up their stats from the Friday night game. From 8 to 9, I'll watch the game film with the defensive staff while the offensive staff finishes their stats. 9 to 9:30, at Greenwood, we have a kicking game coordinator and 3 of our defensive assistants coach a kicking game with him. From 9 to 9:30, those 4 coaches will meet and watch the game film from Friday night together. During that time, I will meet with our head junior high coach. We'll cover the games from the past week in the junior high program, cover practice schedules, and just anything that I need to be aware of what's going on with our junior high program. We're fortunate that our junior high is on our same campus, so we're with those guys quite a bit, and it's just an opportunity for me to stay involved with them and make sure I know everything going on in their program. At 9:30, I'll meet with the defensive coordinator for 15 minutes, and we'll just wrap up the game from the night before. We'll talk about practice schedules for the next week and get any ideas he has for any changes we can make to help them for the next week. And then at 9:45 to 10, I'll meet with the offense coordinator and we'll do the same. By 10 o'clock, I want everything completed from the previous night's game. I want stats done, turned into me, and I want our staff to begin preparing for the next opponent. So from 10 to 11, our offensive staff is going to get together and watch our opponent's game from the night before, and the defensive staff will do the same. 11 to 12, we're going to eat lunch together. Our booster club provides lunch every Saturday for our coaches staff. We invite our junior high coaches up here as well. They put in a lot of work helping us prepare and entering data, and so we want to make sure we're able to spend that time with them as well. So from 11 to 12, we'll take a break and have lunch. At 12 o'clock, coaches will start working on their own on the next opponent, and whether that's entering data into Huddle or making cut-ups up or just studying film, they're going to start working on their own. Coaches are free to leave when they're finished, and coordinators are good. There's some Saturday afternoons that we're out of here by 2, and then there's some Saturdays that we're here at 5 to 6. We're more flexible on Saturdays. We've got a lot of coaches that have kids, and we want them to be able to attend their games. And so if we have a coach that needs to leave during the day to go to a game, he might come in earlier on Saturday morning, or he might stay later on Saturday afternoon. But we want to make sure that our coaches are able to watch their kids. So we are flexible on our Saturday work day. All right, on Sunday, a lot of the coaches will come in early in the morning if maybe they didn't finish up something on Saturday. But 11:30 starts our schedule. 11:30 to 11:45, I'm going to meet with the defense coordinator, talk about the game plan for the coming week, go over each practice schedule with him and make sure he's good. 11:45 to 12, I'll meet with the offense coordinator and do the same. Just introduce the game plan, go through the practice schedules and make sure we're on the same page before our staff meetings. 12:15, I'll meet with the special teams coordinator. And then at 12:40, we want all coaches here. We don't meet till 12:40 as a staff because we want our coaches able to attend church if they wish to. So a lot of times you'll have coaches come in at 7 or 8 and work a little bit, leave, go to church, and then come back. But we're real flexible in the morning. But by 12:40, we want our full staff on campus and ready to go. 12:45 to 1, the kicking game staff will meet with our kicking game coordinator. He'll cover the game plan with all the coaches. And then at 1 o'clock, we start our staff meeting. Our staff meeting normally lasts about an hour. We'll start off with a position review from each position coach from Friday night's game, and really just telling the whole staff what he thought about his kids' performance, what they did well, what they need to do better, what's going to be his emphasis during his individual time during the week. Then we'll go over the injury report with our coaches, make sure they know who's banged up, if somebody's going to be out, who's available for that week. We will hand out the practice schedules for the week at that point, and they'll get Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday schedules. We'll go through the practice schedule, make sure everybody's good and knows where they're supposed to be. We'll go through our Thursday schedule, which includes our practice schedule, our team meal, and our theme. And then we'll go over Friday game day schedule. If it's an away game, we'll talk about travel, when we dismiss, where we're going to eat, things like that. And just make sure everybody's aware of the plans for the week. And then we'll talk about our scout team looks. I think one of the best things that we do at Greenwood is we service each other. And what I mean by that is if we're on team defense in practice and our offensive coaches are coaching the scout team offense. And, as a head coach, I expect my offensive guys to coach just as hard when they're working with the scout team as I do when we're on team offense. And I think all of our coaches do a great job of that. So we'll sit down and our defense coordinator will get up on the board and he'll walk through the other team's offense, anything as far as stance or alignment, maybe something that they're keying on that week. He wants to make sure we see from the scout team. Then our offensive coordinator will get up and he'll show the defensive coaches the looks we want to see in practice. We have 2 scout team offenses and we'll have 2 scout team defenses. So, he may say scout team 1, he wants to see a 4-3 cover 2, and scout team 2, he wants to see a 3-4 cover 4. But he'll talk through the coverages and the alignments and just the look we want to make sure we get that week. And then we'll cover any additional issues that we may need to cover as a coaching staff before the players arrive. At 2:00, our team gets here. One of the best things we did is start meeting on Sunday afternoons. Our kids like to do 1 of 2 things on the weekend. They either like to sleep in or they like to go hunting. And so once we moved our team meeting from 2 to 4, it allowed all those kids to do that. If they want to sleep in, they can do that. And if they want to get up early on Saturday and Sunday morning and go hunting, they're allowed to do that as well. All right, so 2 to 2:10, kids get here. We're going to have a team meeting, helmet awards. It's a really important thing for our football team, our offensive, defensive, and kicking game coordinator. We'll talk about what the kids did in the previous game to earn their helmet stickers, and then they'll hand those out. We'll also mention scout team players of the week. I think that's important because it allows us to recognize those other players that maybe aren't playing in the game or aren't starters. And we make a big deal of our scout team players of the week because we think it helps them with their effort in practice. 2:15 to 2:40, we're going to have a special teams meeting. That's only those on 2 deep special teams. Everybody else will set up the weight room and the floor. 2:45 to 3:20, we're going to do our weight workout. And what we do with that is, we probably had 80 kids during the season practicing. So we put 40 on the floor. We put 40 in the weight room. They go 15 minutes each, and then we switch. On the floor, we did a yoga workout. We started doing that the last couple of years. Allows our players to work some soreness out from the Friday night's game, getting loose. And then we do about a 15-minute weight workout in the weight room. 3:25 to 4, we give the kids donuts and they'll go to film. Offensive guys will meet with their position coaches. Defensive guys will meet with their position coaches. And we've got 35 minutes of film. I really leave that up to the coaches, what they want to do during that time. The offensive guys like to watch the Friday night film, make corrections, see ourselves on film. I know the defensive guys sometimes like to get a head start on the opponent, and so they might start watching the cut-ups of the opponent. But leave those up to the coordinators and let them make those decisions. At 4:00, we dismiss all the players to go home. We don't want to keep them up here any more than 2 hours, with the exception of our leadership council. We call that the Bulldog Council. I'll meet with those guys for about 15 minutes. That meeting is really just to give them an opportunity to speak to me if there's something going on maybe I'm not aware of, if there's any problems within the locker room or on the team. But just really let those guys have an opportunity to speak their mind and to make suggestions. We'll vote on the uniforms we're going to wear. We'll talk about what we're going to eat for team meal and just give them a voice in the team. After that, from 4 to 5, offensive, defensive coaches are going to go back to game planning and finalize their game plan for the next opponent. Same thing as Saturdays. There's sometimes we're out of here at 5, and then there's sometimes we're out of here at 9 o'clock. And it's really just up to the coordinators. When they're good and they feel like we're prepared, then they're going to let their guys go home. But we want to make sure we stay up here as late as we need to get ready, be prepared. But at the same time, we don't want to waste time up here if we're finished. All right, this is Monday practice schedule for us. If you notice in the top left-hand corner, it has meeting times. We meet kicking game, offense and defense every day, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in practice. Our bell rings at 2:15 to end sixth period. And so we give our kids 10 minutes to get up here, get dressed out, and get in the meeting room. So at 2:25, we're going to have a kicking game meeting for 10 minutes. On Monday practice, we're going to stress punt team and punt block team in the kicking game. On Tuesday, we're going to do kickoff and kickoff return. And then on Wednesday, we'll do all four phases. So Monday in the kicking meeting is only those guys on punt and punt block. Our kicking coordinator will talk to the kids about the game plan for punt and punt block. At 2:35, whistle blow, and they'll report to offensive meetings and defensive meetings. We're fortunate that we've got enough players where we did not practice any players both ways last year. And so we meet at the same time. So we'll have 15 minutes for offensive and defensive meetings where we can introduce a game plan, install anything new we're putting in that week. All right, at 2:55, we're going to start stretch. With COVID, we've changed our stretch routine, obviously, like everybody probably has, and we're really spread out on the game field and just kind of go through a quick stretch and doing some exercise in place so that we stay spread out. Period 2 is our tempo. And if you look on the left of the practice schedule, the first four names, Young, Watson, Myers, and Morton, those are our offensive staff. The four coaches on the right, Gill, Elmore, Tessing, and Sandiford is our defensive staff. So you can kind of see what each coach or each side of the ball has each period. We practice in 5-minute periods. No matter what's going on, at 5 minutes, that whistle's going to blow, and we're going to go to the next period. One of our coaches, Coach Sandiford, has a program that he hooks up with his phone and our speakers in the stadium, and it calls out the period every 5 minutes, and our kids know when that period changes and they're going to rotate. He also is able to load music, and so some of the periods will have music playing, and the kids really enjoy that. But I'm going to take a little bit of time going through Monday practice schedule, and I won't spend that much time on the other days. So period 2 and 3 on offense, we're doing tempo install. What that is we're running our new plays on air. It's just as fast as we can go. We'll run 5 plays with the 1s, 5 plays with the 2s, 5 plays with the 3s, and then we'll bring the 1s back, 5 more with the 1s, 5 more with the 2s, 5 more with the 3s. And like I said, it's just our install for that week, and we've covered it in meetings, and now we want to go out and run on air, and we want to go with tempo and pace. Defense at that time is doing tackle rotation, and they'll be broken up. Each coach will have a tackle drill, and they will rotate the kids every 2 minutes through those. Period 4 and 5, we've got punt team. When we go punt team, we have 3 defensive assistants and the special teams coordinator coaching the punt team. Our defensive coordinator will run our bonnets, and what that is it's our scout team for special teams. So he's got cards, and he will show that to the bonnets, and they give our punt team a look there. Period 6 and 7, we've got drill. We'll also do some inside versus bags. And then period 8 and 9, we go to routes on air, scale on air for us. Our offensive line is on pass pro, and then our defense is doing team cover down. They may talk about formation and alignment, but that's really 10 minutes where our defensive coordinator can touch what he wants to on that. And it's something that we're not going real fast. He can take more time to walk and talk if he needs to. Period 10 and 11, we go one-on-ones with the secondary. When we're doing one-on-ones, we go inside as well. And so if you notice on period 10, it says set inside for the offense and inside for the defense. So our offensive coaches are going to run the scout team offense in inside drill against our varsity defense. And then period 11, we'll switch. Now we're on offense, and our defensive coaches will run the scout defense. We have a 5-minute break. On a break, we have the kids run off and sit off on the sideline. And then period 13 and 14, we go punt block. And once again, our defensive coordinator is running the bonnets there. Period 15 and 16, we've got set scale. So our offensive coaches are running scout offensive cards in scale against our defense. And then our O-line and D-line is working pass rush one-on-one together. Period 17 and 18, now we go to scale O. So we're on team offense while our defensive staff is setting our scale scout. And then you'll notice we move through some team periods at the end of practice. The last thing we're going to do on Monday, period 24, is PAT field goal. And then period 25 is end of practice. So This is a 25-period practice. Mondays are going to be pretty close to that. We may add a period or take away a period depending on where we are at the year or who we're playing. Also, as we get to the playoffs, we like to go to 4-minute periods. We feel like that time of year, it kind of just speeds things up and makes our kids feel a little bit fresher towards the end of the year. All right, Tuesday practice schedule. Once again, we're going to start off with kicking game meeting. Today, we're going to hit kickoff team and kickoff return team. So those guys will meet for 10 minutes, and then offense and defense will have 10-minute meetings as well. And if you go through Tuesday's practice schedule, very similar. We're going to be a little bit longer on Tuesdays. Today's the 29 periods. This was week 1 of the season, and so we were going a little bit longer. Only difference in Tuesday, you'll notice period 12 is a chaos drill. During chaos, we're going good versus good as fast as we can go. Now, we keep the formation the same. So if you notice on this day, we're going doubles. Our offensive coordinator will have our ones go against the ones on defense, and he'll go 5 plays as fast as he can. And I think it helps both. It helps our offense. We get a great look on defense, obviously, going against our ones. It also helps our defense seeing that tempo and getting used to that. And so, we don't want to do that a lot, but we go about 5 plays with our ones, and then we'll go 5 plays, 2s on 2s, and 5 plays, 3s on 3s. If you go down to period 17, blitz drill, this is also a good versus good with us. We do a 3rd and 10 situation, and same thing here. We're going to go 5 plays, 1s on 1s, got to make 10 yards. And then when we finish those 5, we'll go 2s on 2s and 3s on 3s. So you can go through, but Tuesday practice is a little bit longer. We will also lift weights after Tuesday's practice with our varsity. We will lift on Tuesdays and Sundays with our varsity. Our JV will lift Tuesday after practice, Thursday during our practice, and Sunday. So we get 1 extra lift in with your young guys. All right, Wednesday practice, same thing. We're going to start with kicking game. Now on Wednesday, we're going to hit all 4 phases. So punt, punt block, kickoff, and kickoff return will be hit on Wednesday. So we'll cover all those in the meeting as well. And then we'll hit them all during the practice. Once again, we have a 10-minute offensive, defensive meeting before we go out on the field. Wednesday's practice is normally a little shorter. This one's 25 periods, a lot more team on Wednesday. And so a lot of times, for example, we have team offense, the defense will be off because the defensive coaches are running the scout team defense. We also like to switch back and forth between team offense and team defense. We think that simulates a game. So you won't ever see us go longer than 2 periods of team offense without switching team defense. And then, like I said earlier, the special teams are just scattered in throughout. All right, here's our Thursday practice schedule. At Greenwood, we call it a perfect Thursday. We only practice 2 deep on Thursday. Okay, guys that are not 2 deep are going to go to the weight room with 2 of our coaches and go through a weight workout that's about 40 minutes. When they get finished with that, they'll join us out on the field. We're in shorts and T-shirts on Thursday. It's kind of a walkthrough practice where we want to cover any situation that we maybe didn't cover throughout the week, special situations like, a safety, a kickoff after a safety, or blocking a punt, what happens, your punt block rules, hands team. We just want to make sure we cover all situations that may come up in the game that we did not cover during the week. So if you just look, it's got 1 through 19 on the left side. These are not 5-minute periods. This is just however long it takes us to cover. So Thursday practice normally will go about an hour and a half. There's been times it's gone a little bit longer, and there's been times it's gone shorter. But we'll cover first thing, kickoff team. We'll cover everything related kickoff team that week. Every kick we're going to do, every onside, and make sure we talk about the other team's returns. Period 2, defense, stop their best play. Our scout team offense will walk through the best play of the opponent, and the defense will talk about their adjustments to that play. Period 3, PAT block. We'll talk about blocking PATs. We'll go over the rules. We'll cover swing and gate, make sure we're prepared to line up for that. Period 4, we'll talk through kickoff return, cover all of our returns, and cover the onside kick from the opponents. All right. Period 5, offense. We're going to run our 5 best red zone plays and 5 best goal line plays on air. Period 6, PAT field goal. We'll kick some, and we'll also work our gate, our 2-point plays. Period 7, kickoff team. We'll cover our onsides and all of our kicks for that week. Period 8 is a situational time for our offense. We're going to set a situation at the end of a game, and we're going to tell them where to start, how much timeouts, and, just let them go on air pretty fast there. And this one, we had the ball in the -30, a minute and a half left, one timeout, down 5. And, they've got to play that game, whether we're trying to score a touchdown or just need a field goal. And it's just a way for us to cover situations in practice that could come up in the game. All right. After we score, we'll run everybody off the field. Then number 9, we'll do a 12-second field goal like everybody does. We'll run their kids on and count down from 12, and they've got to get set, snap, hold, and kick. If we make it, we move on. If we miss it, we go back and do it again. Period 10, hands team, we'll work all 3 alignments of our hands team. Period 11, defense, we'll do alignments and adjustments versus the opponent's offense. That's kind of a walk and talk time for our defensive coordinator to go through things one last time, make sure our kids are set. Period 12, punt block. We'll work our punt block. We'll also work our defense safe and defense return. Period 13, offense. We'll work our best plays and save the game offense. Period 14, punt team. We'll review our game plan for punt. And then you'll see the last few things. Period 15, defense, stop their next best play. Period 16, offense, last play of the game. We work 4 different plays on our last play of the game. We'll go with the -30, and we'll work a hitch and pitch where you throw a deep ball or a hitch route and you pitch it, and we just let our kids we have rules where they spread out, make sure they stay behind the ball if it's the last play of the game. Then we'll go to the +30. We'll work our Hail Mary play. We'll go to the +10 and work our last play from the 10-yard line, and we'll go from the +2 and work our last play there. So every week we're working 4 different plays that we would run as our last play of the game based on where we get the football. All right, period 17. We're going to line everybody up on the sideline. Our special teams coordinator is going to get out, and he's going to call out each phase of our kicking game, and he'll call 2 guys that are injured to make sure the backups are paying attention, and we've got to have 11 guys come out. If we don't have 11 guys come out, they'll run over and back, and we'll start again. Period 18, defense, 2x6 perfect blitzes. We'll line up our scout team offense, and the defense has to execute 6 perfect blitzes, full speed, hit the correct gap on our scout team offense. If they mess up, they'll start over. And once they've done 6 of those twice, then we'll go to offense. The last thing we finish up with is our perfect drives. We start on the goal line, and we go 10 plays each direction. If we miss a throw, drop a ball, run the wrong route, miss a protection call, then we go back to the goal line and start over. There's days that we go through that without messing up, and there's times we have to start over 4 or 5 times. So, like I said, the Thursday practice can be an hour, and sometimes it's been an hour and 45 minutes, just depending on how we do and how hooked up the kids are. If you look on the bottom of that Thursday schedule, that's just blanks for where we script in what plays we're going to run in each period. All right. Friday, our game day schedule. This obviously changes like everybody else, whether we're home or away. This schedule is for Southside, which is an away game, but it was a close away game. So at 2:20, when the kids get over here, we have a very short meeting. If it's a home game or a close away game like Southside, we're able to let our kids go home and eat and relax for a little while. At home games or close away games, we do not feed our kids. We let them eat at home. And so they're able to go home, eat, come back. But really the schedule starts at about 5 o'clock. You see coaches meeting. We'll meet as a high school staff and cover any last minute personnel items. I'll ask them if there's anything they want me to discuss with officials, but just last opportunity for us to talk as coaches and make sure we're ready to go. 5:05, we'll have a kicking game meeting for 10 minutes. That's those on the 2 deep. 5:15, we'll have a chapel. That's voluntary. We're fortunate that we've got Stan Escalante, our life coach, and he gets a speaker every game home and away for a 10-minute chapel. We got a high number of kids that attend that, and they enjoy that, and I think it's one of the better things that we do in our program. Lets kids relax, hear a great message, and get away from football for just a little while. At 5:25, we're going to start offensive, defensive position meetings. That's only those on the 2 deep, and players meet with their position coaches. At 5:35, we'll have a brief team meeting before we go out with our first group. At 5:40, the first group is going to go out. That's quarterback, receivers, punters, snappers, kickers, holders. and we're going to go out and throw and kick and just get loose for about 15 minutes. We'll come in at 6 o'clock, and you've got about 13 minutes before we go out as a team. You notice at 6:13 or 47 minutes on the clock, we do our traditional entry with everybody. We'll do a stretch and warm up for about 5 minutes. Then at 6:18, we do a group drill, which is a position drill. Each coach will have their kids, and we'll just do a 5-minute position specific drill to help them get warm and loose, ready for the ball game. Then after that, we'll line everybody up in the end zone. 6:23, check kickoff and kickoff return. Our special teams coordinator will just call out kickoff. They'll come out, he'll count them, give them last time instructions, and then we'll check all 4 of those phases. At 6:25, PAT and field goal. If we're a little early, we might kick a little more here, but normally we're going to kick 3 from the middle and 2 from each hash. Just lets our kicker have an opportunity to kick live in front of the guys with the crowd out there and get loose. Then at 6:28, our first defense will go out, and they'll do a pursuit drill 3 times with our defensive staff. Then our offense will go out, and they'll run 3 plays on the air with our offense coordinator. And then at 6:30, we'll load up, and we'll all head inside together. Once we get inside, we want to give our kids about 10 minutes to just relax, get a drink, spread out. And then at 6:42, we'll have our last chance meeting for defense, and that's 2 deep. When we're at home, Coach Gill will take our defense in the film room and just cover the last second reminders before they get ready to play. At 6:45, we'll load the film room with our entire team, and we do our clap drill. That's where our varsity offense, our starters are on standing up and everybody else is sitting down. And we call out our first 10 plays in the snap count and just, last second, get them dialed in. 6:48, quiet time. We're going to turn the lights off. We want everybody quiet and, just put themselves in a moment where they can relax a little bit. And then at 6:50, we're fortunate. We've got a class here at the high school that does a highlight film for us and puts it to music from the previous game. So we're going to crank that thing up and get our kids fired up and ready to go. And that'll be the last thing they see before they head out onto the field. The last thing here I have is a halftime schedule based on a 20-minute half. We have our junior high head coach keep the time. The first 6 minutes we get in, we're going to give the kids time to relax and get a drink, and the coaches are going to meet. I will meet with our defensive staff the first 3 minutes once we get in here. And just the focus of that is what's the defense going to have to do in the second half for us to win the game. The next 3 minutes, I'll meet with the offensive staff and the same thing. What does the offense have to do for us to win the game? I'll have our offensive coordinator script the first 5 plays we're going to call when we start the second half. And we also make sure we have 2 shots that we like based on the looks we got in the first half. After 6 minutes, Coach Ray will blow a whistle, and that tells the kids that they're to go to their offensive, defensive meetings. The defensive staff will meet with 2 deep defense in the film room to go over their changes and adjustments, and the offensive staff will meet on the GMAC floor with their 2 deep. After 7 minutes, Coach Ray will blow the whistle again, and Coach Myers will meet with the special teams on the GMAC floor. He can meet with any phase or all the phases, just depending on where we are in the game. For instance, if we're about to get a kickoff return and we think there's a chance we may get an onside kick, he may choose to meet with kickoff return at that time and cover some adjustments with him. With 4 minutes left on the clock, Coach Ray's going to blow it. We'll have a 1-minute team meeting, and the focus of that is going to be what do we have to do as a team to win the ball game. And then at 3 minutes left, we're going to head outside. We got a coach that warms up the kickers, a coach that warms up the quarterbacks, and a coach that warms up the team. This last slide here is just the Greenwood Bulldog football calendar that we hand out when we get back from Christmas break. You see on here, it says January 5th, off-season workouts begin. We handed this out the first week of January this year. We ask a lot of our kids in the summer, and we expect them to be there. And so we want to make sure we get this calendar out as soon as possible so that our parents are able to plan their vacations accordingly. It has all of our team camps, our summer workouts, things like that on there so that the kids know when they're expected to be here and they also know when they're going to be allowed to miss. I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you. Obviously, everything we do at Greenwood, we've stolen from somebody else. I think that we do a good job preparing our kids throughout the week. Our practice schedule has worked for us, but we're always looking for ways to do things better. And I hope you found something on here that can help you and your football team. Thank you.